Some of you may be familiar with functions in Excel, such as VLOOKUP, or functions like join in SQL. What we often need to do is we often need to look up values that are related to our data, but are in other tables. Let's have a look. If, for example, I was to go out of the data view and into the model view, the model view shows me all my tables and the connections between them. Let me just collapse the fields pane. Let me also hit this button in the bottom right corner to fit to page, and I can see more clearly what's going on. So I can see that a lot of the tables connect to the internet sales. For example, one customer places many internet sales orders. And the field that these two have in common when I rest on the line that joins these two tables is the field customer key, and it shows that with grey. So some information is in the customers table and some information is in the internet sales table. Same as over here, if I rest on this line, I can see, let me just stretch things a little bit so I can see better. If I rest on this line, still not seeing it properly, so I'll just move this up and move this up. When I rest on this line, I can see product key in the internet sales. I'm still not quite seeing in the product table. Let me just stretch this. All right, I'm going to rest on the line between these two tables. So there is a connection between the product and the internet sales. One product can be sold many times. And the product key field is the field that relates these two tables together. All right, let's say, for example, I'm just thinking, let's say I want to see some of the customer information actually in the internet sales query. I'm going to go back to data view and I'm going to go to internet sales and expand that. Now, when I'm in the internet sales, I can see the customer key column here. And this is the key, the unique identifier that identifies each customer in the customer table. But that is the only information I have about the customer in this table. What I might like to do is create a calculated column that actually shows me the customer name that is related to that customer key. And it might be the customer's full name that we created in an earlier video using a calculated column. Let's have a look. So I'm going to go to a new column and I want to call this customer's name. Let me actually put that in capitals. Customer's name equals shift enter. Put a document. This formula grabs the customer's full name from the customer's query that matches the customer key in this table. Shift enter, tab. So the function I'm going to use is the function called related. Related returns a value from a connected table. So I type related and press tab, and it says, what column do you want to relate to? I press single quote, it's the customer's table, and it's their full name. So I tab and say I want the customer's full name, close bracket, that is related to this particular table. So there has to be a relationship. That's the requirement. There must be a relationship for these two tables, between these two tables, for this to work. And so I press enter. And so here is the customer name. Now I could actually drag that to the right and move it. Actually, that's right. I can't drag that column in this view. I would actually have to go to the Power Query editor and actually drag it there to make that work. I'm not worried about that. So as I scroll back, the customer key is here, and 11024, if I go back this way, is Russell. If I went into the customers table and checked 11284, it would match. I'll leave that for you to check. I'll go back to internet sales. Okay, what if I not only want to see the customer's name that goes with that customer key, but I also want to see the customer's email address? Let's do that. So I'm going to create a new column. I'm going to call it customer's email address equals Shift Enter. Grabs the customer's email from the customer's query based on the customer key value in this query. Shift Enter. REL, tag to related. I want the email address from the customer table. Close the bracket, press Enter, and it grabs the related information and shows me the customer's name and the customer's email address from the customer's table that matches the customer key field here because of the relationships that exist in here between the customer key in the customer's table and the customer key in the internet sales table. Very, very handy is the related function. So I'll go back to data.